Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along then to round 7 of the GPVWC World GT Series. We are here at the Czech Republic at the Brno circuit, and we very potentially have here the deciding round for the Drivers' Championship. Last time out in Bathurst, we had Midnight taking the Constructors. I saw that. My name is James Kirk. Someone who didn't see it live, unfortunately, with us is Mike Pittman, who returns to us now after that one race break. It's nice to have you back in the box, Mike.
Well, I'm glad to be back. I'm sorry to everyone that had missed the last one, but I watched it back since, and it was obviously very well handled in my absence anyway, which is nice to know. I'm looking forward to some good racing again today.
It was rather destructive racing Bathurst, actually, over half, well, I think it was about half the field DNFing, more than Spa in that monsoon weather back at round 3. It was absolutely crazy, but through it all, Oscar Hardwick took Wood's first win in 3 years, a pole position, and it was just a wonderful event for them. I didn't realise this, but he actually put himself into the championship contention through that win, but unfortunately he is not here today. Neither is fellow championship contender Lucas Euler, and that basically leaves us, Mike, with one championship contender here trying to stop Alex Cooper from taking the title today, and that is James Johnson. He must win this race, and Cooper must come 11th or lower for this title fight to still be brought over to the next round, which will be Imola. So very slim chances for Johnson here today, but still very possible.
Well, yeah, we don't want to discount it completely, do we? I mean, I know he's my driver again, so I'm still going to be very biased, but it's nice to see that he's still got a chance, you know, even if we're putting it all on him now.
Right, well, we are in qualifying here. Remember that if you have just joined us, one flying lap for these guys, and that is it. And our first man to set a time is Ron Squire here, in the rather neon blue Kinku Motorsport car. From what I've heard, Ron won't even be able to last the entire race, so he's got to pop off to something, so... Each and everyone to their own. He sets the provisional pole time of a 2:02.3. I can guarantee that will be beaten very shortly, and indeed it is, by Tom van der Voort, making his debut for Woods Racing, taking over from Dennis Lind, a 1:58.2 there from Dutchman. So a decent timed effort, considering that this is his first time in the car. Now, Jake Cooper, who's had 2 pole positions this year, the man with the most pole positions this year, has taken pole position away from them with a 1:55.5. That's looking more realistic, but well, look at that once again. Alex Cooper goes on top 5/10 quicker than Jake, and there's only really been one man who I think has a chance of beating Alex here today, and that's one of your drivers, Alessandro Perotti, who topped the free practice session here. And actually, sorry, I was going to let you talk. I believe he's just about to round the final corner now.
He's just about to finish his lap.
Yeah, indeed he is. Across the line he comes, and he does take it. Alessandro Perotti, by 0.02 of a second, now has provisional pole position for Vodbull Racing, and in the Constructors' Championship, where Vodbull is only 3 points clear of nearest rivals Norsen, this is exactly what they, and indeed you, Mike, are going to need.
Well, I'm hoping this is still a long way to go. We've still got 10 minutes left of this session, obviously. But yeah, that's a great time to set us off there.
Fastest time in the server, I believe, is a 1:54.4, if I can remember off the top of my head. Must be said, we're not actually expecting rain here today, as was the case.
Makes a change, doesn't it?
Well, we didn't have rain in Bathurst. I thought we were going to have rain at every race, and well, Bathurst disappointed myself and Lewis in that respect. But well, we seem to be on a bit of a. Well,
hopefully, it's not me then.
No. Well, we're on a bit of a dry streak at the moment here, Mike. So, well, a bit of dry racing can't hurt us. I mean, Bathurst was one of the best races I saw on this calendar. Really tight stuff, and you could really see who was pushing it to the limit and who was pushing it, too far and not really helping their own course by ploughing it into the wall. Right then, so let's have a look here. David
jumped. Just gone top.
Oh
top
my
of the stand.
word! Okay. Well,
I was just trying to find him on track, but that's a brilliant.
Completely bypassed me. My word. So, right, that's blowing me. I remember when Franz Schneider back at Nürburgring took that incredible 4th place. His teammate David Junt has just put himself on pole position for Nordschuld, and this would be an incredible achievement. And let's see, James Johnson is out on a lap now. Yeah, I'm struggling to come to terms with that, Mike. That's a brilliant lap.
It is. He actually hit purple sectors all across the board there as well, so it's been pretty outstanding.
Well done, David Chump, for getting up there. Let's have a look at James Johnson now. The man needs to win this race in order to even have a chance of staying in title contention, as Jake Cooper's left the game. I'm sure that we'll see him back sooner or later. And James Johnson coming back down this long back straight. And I'll tell you what, I had a little go around Brno a couple of weeks ago. A really nice circuit. It's got a lovely flow to it, lots of undulation, a really natural circuit. And I'm very happy that we're going here, because although I've never heard of it before, it really is an underrated track.
Yeah, it's going to be good to actually. It is nice to have different races on the calendar. You know, us at GT here, we're blessed with some great tracks, to be honest. But to have a bit of a difference to what you get in the career ladder as well is fantastic. And you're right, it is a lovely track to drive around as well. Hopefully, it'll be great to watch.
Was this a lovely lap for James Johnson, though? Powers towards the line now. And that's only P4 for James Johnson, though he is, well, look at that, he's 1,000th ahead of David Fiddock, but crucially he's only one place behind Alex Cooper at the moment. Must be said, actually, shout out to Perry Vink. Now, we've seen Vink kind of suffer, unfortunately, in the WSS. He's been sort of hampered at the back, but we saw yesterday really, really good driver in him. And here, he is with ST Racing, along with Mark Fuller, and originally they were in the Porsche. They've actually changed and have finally given us here at round 7 of 9 our debut of the Lamborghini Gallardo, my favourite car out of the bunch. And he's P8 as well, actually, so a lovely effort from Perry there.
Yeah, it is a good. It's nice to see the car, isn't it? That is one of the good things about this GT, is the difference as well with everything going on. No, it is on screen now as well.
Oh, so we've got Mark Fuller going around, presumably.
We have, yeah, he's on track now.
Yeah, let's give the Lamborghini a bit of screen time. I do know that Roy Schroeten's on a lap, but I'll keep an eye on that in the background. I mean, very yellow Lamborghini, no livery, unfortunately, for ST Racing. But from what I tested of it, very oversteery car, actually, very compact.
It's quite similar in the way that the Ferrari works, but doesn't seem to work quite as... It's a lot harder to tame, I think, this Lamborghini.
Who's just gone in there? Oh, Theo van den Brink. We saw him in WSS as well, making his debut for Racing Team Schroeten. He's here with Racing Team Schroeten again, and he is partnering Roy Schroeten, as I said.
Who's just gone 6th, actually.
Who's just gone 6th, yeah, so a good effort from Roy on his return since Spa, where he unfortunately had that disconnection. But we look now back to Mark Fuller, who is entering a title section here. Oh, who's that has just gone in somewhere? Oh, Kenny Libert, who made his debut in WSS yesterday as well. So many people transferring over from WSS to World GT now. Lovely to see them back. He is into P9 now, so Jake Cooper returns from presumably a R-Factor crash or something. So he is confirmed to be in P6. Roy Schroeten bumped down to P7. We'll wait for Mark Fuller to complete his lap as we enter roughly now the last 5 minutes of this qualifying session. Still some big hitters to come, like we've got Michael Ballard there, Matthew Williams, Philip Morby, Timu Toika, Sven de Vries as well, who took 2nd on his debut last time out. Plenty
I'm interested to see how Minu Klont does as well after his good showing in the career ladder this week. He's still in the garage at the moment.
He was leading the WSS race, race 2, for quite a while yesterday as well. Mark Fuller, though, crosses the line to go 17th, so not the best debut, but at least it's not last. Right,
that's all you can hope for, isn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. As long as you're not, well, to be fair, even if you start last, there's a chance for you to avoid all the carnage ahead of you. You just don't know in these sorts of these fields where there's a lot of variance and a lot of not only different driving styles, but different types of car in terms of mid-engine, rear engines. You know, really, this is what we've loved about the World GT. Pardon me, the World GT series so far. Just lots of unpredictability.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching these, obviously you'd know. We've never been able to predict anything, I don't think, have we? Even when we've tried to predict a winner or anything, or strategy, the lot. Well, that says a lot about us or the race, I'm not too sure. But nonetheless, it does make it great viewing. That's why I do try and make it, apart from last time, obviously.
Well, Michael Ballard is coming round to finish his hot lap, and he goes 7th for Laurentian Grand Prix. A decent effort from Michael there. Who is left on track? We've got the two TSA boys of Matthew Williams and Philip Morby. Timu Toika's out on track, as is Sven de Vries. Menno Klont is on his out lap, and Thomas Jacobs, Ballard's teammate.
Sven de Vries just set a purple sector in Sector 1.
Oh, well. Did he now? Right, well, let's... who's that who's gone there? I think that's Matthew Williams. Okay, Matthew Williams has gone into 15th for TSA. Sven de Vries, though, purple sector 1, I believe he's actually in the final sector now, actually, as he heads back up this mighty... Actually, is he no? I think I might be wrong. He's in sector 2 still, apologies.
No, he has done Sector 2 now, he's in Sector 3.
Alright, there we go. Is he up again?
He didn't purple sector, but it was still decent, so it's going to put him probably within the top 4 or 5 this.
Alright, here he comes now. Across the line he comes. And... oh dear, where was that? 154.8. Oh,
second.
That's P2. There we go. My R factor a bit slow to update there. Harry Vinker's left. So we'll see what happens there. Menno Klont crosses the line to start his flying lap. Philip Morby goes P16, just behind his teammates. So nice consistent times there from the TSA boys. And that just leaves them Timu Toika, Thomas Jacobs, and Menno Klont. Let's look to Timu Toika and Alpha FA Racing. His teammate Boyd Bryson, currently 5th in the Drivers' Championship, not here, which is a shame because he's had some very good consistent results as Bryson, the South African, really impressing in World GT this year, and a very underrated driver. But here comes Timu Toika, his teammate now, the Finn, across the line to do a 156.9. That puts him P16, splitting the TSA boys. Who is next across the line? I believe it'll be Thomas Jacobs for TSA Racing, I think.
It will be, yeah.
Yep, right, so Thomas Jacobs now rounding this last section of road for Laurentian Grand Prix. Onto the home straight now, and he crosses the line to do a 156.1. That puts him P13, and Menno Klont then will be our final runner here in qualifying. The Dutchman led the race for a good couple of laps in WSS in race 2 just yesterday. Unfortunately, lost out. I believe his contact that saw him lose the lead of the race, unfortunately. But a very good driver here, Menno Klont. Very good, consistent Super Cup results. I think he'll be wanting to stick with Multiforce for next year if he can help it. But let's see what he can do here on his debut in the World GT. Been looking sort of mid-table, and to be fair, that's to be expected because you've had these people here now for a max 6 rounds like Cooper, and they've just been able to finalize that setup to make it truly what they want to suit their car. But nevertheless, Klont for Mia Zurich Racing, filling in for Mike Bell, heads across the line now, and he will go with a 156.9, and that will put him in P19. So still inside the top 20 for Menno Klont. But there we go, David Junt then. We've been talking about Norgen's rise through the ranks for pretty much the entire season, Mike. And here they have it, their first pole position of the year with World GT. Sven de Vries 2nd, Alessandro Perotti 3rd, Alex Cooper 4th, making it his 2nd consecutive race in a row where he will not start inside the top 3. James Johnson 5th, David Fiddick 6th, Mike Schroet, an amazing performance from him to put into 7th, Michael Ballard 8th, Jake Cooper 9th, and Roy Schroten on his return since Spa will round out the top 10.
That's a brilliant by David there, though. I mean, like you say about Norgen working their way forwards, they have had a few changes of drivers and such, but obviously weren't to the results weren't obviously the high standard that they expect at such a high established team. But this is obviously back where they want to be and where they belong. Better late than never, I suppose, isn't it? Round 7.
Maybe it is also, lucky number 7 for Norgen.
Well, maybe so. Obviously, we did see Hardwick as well with them. Was it doing quite well a few weeks back, months back now, isn't it? God, time flies.
Maybe a month back for Harfest.
Well, we drove for Woods there, so it was the month before actually. But yes,
I will say that. I mean, it's such a shame that there's no teammate here for Norgen. I know Fran Lopez was recruited for that one race and he finished 10th, but you really would have thought that they would have at least had someone there to back David Junt up, because they had that pace. I mean, they've taken pole position, admittedly only 300ths ahead of Sven de Vries for CSG, but still, nobody knew they had this in them.
Well, I'm surprised that we haven't got, say, I don't know, Jordan Weeks or something like that, who used to be around at the start of the season. Now they're still not. Yeah, like I say, it's a big team. They should have some sort of backup, as I would imagine. But we don't know the ins and outs behind them. Maybe they did up until the last minute. We don't know.
Oh, there we go then. So we've got one for CSG, one for FA, and one for Nordgen, who is on pole position. Ultimately, Vodball actually looking quite good here with two drivers, and at the end of the day, I think that's one characteristic that's really defined the World GT Series. You have all these fast drivers and whatnot, but it's no good when they don't turn up to races. I mean, one of the reasons why we see such a disparity between Alex Cooper and Lucas Euler at the head of the Drivers' Championship is that Lucas Euler's missed 2 rounds, now going to be 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame in a way, but it kind of balances out over the season, and that most people end up missing a round or potentially 2. But yeah, it does make a big advantage if you can get one of your guys who's there every round. I mean, you look at someone like you say, James Johnson still in the fight, but actually he didn't even start the season.
No.
So those sort of drivers still being in there, you can look at it and go, it's a bit of a shame, really, that we almost need Alex to miss a round himself. Bless him. But obviously that would be asking too much.
Well, let's look at it in a positive light, shall we? 6 rounds have gone so far, and I can quite confidently say that every single round was exciting in some manner. There's not been one boring race, and although the driver's title is very likely to be decided today, with the constructor's title already decided, midnight on 218 now, nobody else is above 100 points. It's really been one-sided, essentially.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
But you look at the quality of driver we have here now. We look at how many people are consistently turning up now, this late in the season. Presumably we can look to next year and hope for an even better 2014 season, regardless of whether it be on R Factor or R Factor 2.
Oh, certainly. I mean, this is just the amount of drivers we've seen over the course of the season so far, in and out of the events, certain drivers coming in, doing really well. It's been a great, the drivers love it. We enjoy it. It's been very popular. It's been a great success, and I'm very proud to be part of it. Alongside you, obviously.
No, it was my first GPVWC broadcast, and World GT always holds a special place in my heart, at least on my list of commentary duties. It just, as I say, regardless of championship position of where everyone is, it always provides something. And even here now, we've had the constructors decided, drivers not looking so good, and we have David Junt on pole position. An excellent story throughout the season, seeing Nordgen rising, and they have this now to add to their name. It just is an excellent series, and I think, it's a shame to see the numbers wane a little. It's been sort of at around the 30 mark for the past couple of races now, from the highs of Nürburgring, where there were about near enough 40 cars on the grid. But still, it's just, I could harp on about it.
I mean, 30 cars is just fantastic still. Yeah. You think, if you'd said at the start of the season we'd be having 30 cars consistently turning up, you don't get that in, consistently. Do we get that in Formula Challenge? It's not a million miles away from that, is it?
I think Formula Challenge is about 35 cars at least every race, I think.
Yeah.
It's the biggest race.
Yeah, and everyone says that's too many. We're only a few away. So and that's obviously in the career ladder as well. This being a side, brilliant series though, to be honest. But being a side thing, it's impressive to get this many drivers. It's credit to the league and to the mod and the drivers themselves.
Well, talking about the mod, actually, let's look at it this way. Let's, for one moment, assume that World GT remains on R Factor for next year. Something that I'm pushing for, is I think that it's far too popular a series to make the move just yet. But what would you look for in, as I say, assuming that it will be on R Factor next year, what would you look for in World GT 2014? Would you be looking for more cars, different tracks, more tracks, less tracks, or would you quite happily have the same thing for one more year?
I I mean, certain other tracks I think would make it interesting, so that when we wouldn't get, because I think part of the interest this year is having completely different tracks that everyone's ever driven on. It means we wouldn't have the advantage to the guys that have already raced this year. But the mod itself, and if we're allowing up, we've never set a limit on how many cars can come in. I think actually it'd be very popular as it is, and I think a few more teams might come in if we started the season now type thing. It just shows because the league has grown since we started this as well, and I do like it's only once a month.
Must say, my Enterprise GP outfit's currently in the waiting queue to be able to get into World GT. That's how popular it is.
Well, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Then we have limited who's how many are in it. That's even better. But yeah, I think you can get too many, and then you'd end up with the odd vacant team. Because at the moment we are getting drivers hot-footing it into certain teams, race upon race, like because everyone can't make every event, and I think this way lets everyone. Everyone have a drive and lets us fill the grid and have these great racing that we see every month. Some people have called for it to be more regular as well, but I think that would almost ruin it in a way.
It's something to look forward to every month, isn't it? It's sort of like that one extra event which people can just set aside and go for glory in, and go for glory many people have. As I say, Jake Cooper, still to this day, despite his many DNFs and sort of so much promise and so little return, he's still the man with the most pole positions in the competition. Apart from that, to me, to every race.
To me, he always made his name through this. Through his poles, through those sort of things. It was brilliant.
Let's not forget, he has essentially led one whole race. Unfortunately, it was for half of 2 races, and then he messed it up halfway through. In both cases, but that's again, it's just all part of the thrills of World GT, and it's in a sense, you look at it this way. One of the other thrills is you're seeing Alex Cooper and how he's been able to deal with those situations. 3 race wins now. That's more than double every other person who's won a race. That's essentially why he's in the championship, through not only consistency but by being in the right place at the right time, much scoring the wins.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at this free practice. It's quite interesting. I know some people mess around and everything else, but some people are trying to set some decent time. Look at Michael Ballard there, top of the standard at the moment. That time's a decent time. Beating Alex Cooper and Perotti and James Johnson, Sven de Vries. Well, I know obviously they haven't done necessarily the best laps, but that's just shows us a few other people that might be in this yet than what we thought the top few.
Well, in general practice, Michael Ballard was in fact P3, and I believe on the server at least he set well over 300 laps. I mean, the dedication that he had to this series to push himself to be the best is truly extraordinary. He has won a race, but it seems like luck really, it just hasn't seemed to fall for Michael Ballard. But keep an eye out for him. I would definitely place my tokens on him being a potential podium achiever by the end of the year. Remember, we do have 3 rounds still. Let's not forget, we have here Brno in just 2 minutes or so. We have.
Suppose we are talking about this as if this is the season end, aren't we? Almost.
Yeah, exactly. We still got Imola next month, and then we've got the grand finale. At of course, not Road America. Sorry, Watkins Glen. Yeah, there's still 2 more rounds to go.
Well, it'll be really interesting to see, one, if the championship still keeps going to the next round, but equally, if it doesn't, then you've got everyone's, like, the pressure's off almost. Everyone's just out there to show off a little bit, have a bit of fun. They've got their own personal fights potentially as well.
Well, that's what happened very much at the start of race 2 in WSS just last night. I mean, Oscar Hardwick scored his first retirement of the year. Jordan Weeks, after 3 second places during the year, finally won his first race in WSS. Not only that, he scored F8 Racing's first ever win at GPVWC. As soon as the titles are confirmed, the gloves are off. Everyone's fighting for their own, unless of course the teams really care about where they do finish in the standings. I presume that's what Oddball will be looking at, finishing second at least.
Well, we do for a little bit of pride, I suppose, and a bit of, because there's some big teams that are below us at the moment. And so then say Junt's driving for now. When you look at it, there's certain big teams down there. But yeah, it's not like the career ladder where a different position would, potentially gain you a place next year in the series above, or money terms if you're in the Super League or the Super Cup, any of that, that sort of thing. You still fight to the end, because from a team perspective, financially worth it as well. But I suppose this could be useful if you're trying to woo a few sponsors or certain drivers. It's your chance to give a few people a different try in your car, maybe as well. We might have a look at it. It might be useful, although the cars are very different to the career ladder. You might see some of the big teams that are in the career ladder using some drivers we might not have seen drive for them before. Try them out in GPVWC, and they might end up in 2014 with us.
I think Oscar Hardwick might just have joined. Yes, he has. I see Jake from Ron Squire have left.
He is in.
As
He's
has
in
John
the server.
Hicken. But yeah, Oscar Hardwick's just joined us now. So that's another race winner here. I'm wondering whether he'll head out the garage though, or whether he's doing setup tweaks or anything. Because there's only
There's
5
6
seconds
left.
Yeah, I'm worried for.
Well, that's another title contender still, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, he's just left. I think that unfortunately he's.
Oh.
That is a shame. He was a title contender, but even from the back of the grid, to ask him to win a race is a big ask.
You've got to be on the grid to do it, though, haven't you? But unfortunately, oh, you see my hopes go up there and then just drop as well. Like, within 2 seconds.
Such is the wonders of World GT. Jake Cooper's returned, which is a good thing. Hopefully, John Hicken will be returning as well. Jake Cooper says this game's crashing, which is worrying. Because obviously we'd like to see Jake. He's only P9, but always provides some excitement in some way or another, does Jake Cooper. And well, I think it's really nice to at least see he's committed to the series. You know, no matter how many retirements he scores, he will still try and get a good result for Infinity.
Oh, definitely. It'd be a great one to write a season report about or something, because it would just flow. You wouldn't have to be searching for things. You'd just know what to write. It'd be fantastic.
David Junt showing his disappointment in not having Franz Schneider, his teammate, beside him. Apparently, he's in Chile. So,
well, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, if he is watching from Chile, your teammate who's just got pole position. Well done. All the team stuff. Ron Squire has just rejoined. But yeah, that's a shame.
You didn't sound very happy about that. Always good to have more drivers on the grid.
Yeah, I was just saying, well, I know for a fact that Ron Squire is going to be leading at 9 o'clock, whether he finishes the race or not.
Oh.
And
well,
so
considering it's an hour race and we haven't started yet.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I'm a little bit about.
To me, that sounds like a waste of 50 minutes, but there you go. I'm just...
Well, no, yeah. As long as he doesn't interfere with the overall race result, I will not be complaining. If he wants to race...
Hardwick's back on the server, I think, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. As is John Hicken. Yeah. We're just having our race director, who is Chris Williamson, for today. Remind everyone to be careful at the start. We don't want a red flag. We haven't needed a red flag.
Don't say things like that. Tempting fate and everything, it's awful.
Well, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm just saying, no. No way have we got rain. It's you! It is
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh my word! As if this race could not get any better in terms of proposition. It was 0. Actually, no, I tell you what, the weather forecast was 30% chance of rain, but if it was rain, it was going to be 0% wetness.
Well, what can I say?
It's just Mike Pittman, ladies and gentlemen. Either way, it's David Johnson.
This is going to throw a lot of people, though. Sorry, out of the whole thing of us. My God, is anyone going to have tried wet setups?
Has anyone prepared wet setups?
Anyone forgot to put wet tyres on? Is it worth putting wet tyres on? I don't,
Oh well, either way, it's going to be David Junt leading us off into the unknown for Norton raising a fantastic pole. How long will he be able to take that lead, though? Sven de Vries took second on his debut last time out of Bathurst. He's in second here again. Plenty of potential here for the American. Alessandro Proti, as I say, Fred Hansen's left, that's a shame. Alessandro Proti for Vodwell, a very impressive third for him with Alex Cooper.
We got Michael Ballard in the pit.
We've may very well do. Yes, we do, in fact. Well, yeah, here we go. Alex Cooper then is P4. James Johnson, P5. David Piddock for Midnight, remember, is P6. Mike Schroten for Mia Zurich is P7. Michael Ballard starts from the pit lane, interestingly. So, yeah, again, luck not going his way. Jake Cooper from Infinity, therefore, will start P8 with Roy Schroten, P9. And George Shumalis, making his debut for TriStar is the Greek. He will start in the top 10. Thomas Jacobs, Ballard's teammate, will start P11 with Kenny Lebert for Waters, P12. Theo Van den Brink also making his debut for Racing Team Schroten is P13, with Perry Vink, who is supposed to be P15, off somewhere, and I don't know why. I think he might have had a crash, possibly. I'm not sure. Either way, Matthew Williams for the 6 axis is P15, with Timu Toikkaden's P16. Menno Klont for Mia Zurich will be P17, with Philip Morby for TSA P18. John Hicken, I think, is disconnected, because I don't see anything on his screens. That's a shame for John Hicken. So Harley Hamnet then will be P19. Tom Vandervoort, he'll be ecstatic to be in the top 20. Martin Palm, P21. John McLean making his debut for Team Roxanne in P22. Mark Fuller, P23 for ST. Miles Dixon in the pits. He still hasn't left, so he might not even start. Scott Cervic is somewhere. I see Harley Hamlet's binned it already, and so he'll start from the pit lane. And Ben Willis is there, Ron Squire's there, and Oscar Hardwick also starts in the pit lane. So at least Oscar Hardwick is starting, but already people thrown off here. And oh dear, Jay Cooper has left the game. Oh dear. A bit of bad
We've got
language
a couple of
there.
people starting from the pits there.
Already, lots has been, and look at this, it's not raining.
I wonder if
going
through.
on? Who's that pitting? Is that?
We've
Kenny
got.
Lebert. What is going on? Who's that pitting there?
Hamlet went in as well.
That's Hamlet.
Hamlet,
McGlade?
yeah.
My
I wonder if people
word.
go in, it's too wet, we're going to have to go on to something else, or maybe they started on wets and they're going to dries.
Who knows? The
Maybe.
red lights are on. We've got plenty of
This is it.
races. And here we go. We are away. David Jump with a good start there. Buoti up alongside Ben de Vries, and look, Alex Cooper there on the outside. They're going to be going 4 wide into turn 1 if they're not careful. Here we go. David Jump then will lead into turn 1. Sven de Vries on the outside. Buoti on the inside there as well. Alex Cooper goes around the outside, and he's not able to make any position, but David Jump safely into the lead at turn 1 there. Look at the close battle though behind. Sven de Vries holding off Buoti, Cooper, Johnson and Mike Schroten there with a good start as we head into turn 2 now. Alex Cooper on the inside is going to try and take both the bobbles, and indeed he does. Excellent move from Alex Cooper though. Is he? No! Oh, is that Buoti off? Buoti sent the spin, and he rejoins behind Menno Klont there. But David Junt nicely off into the distance. Sven de Vries there. James Johnson up into 3rd. He's ahead of Alex Cooper, now defending off the Englishman as we head into this very deceiving right-hander, especially in this wet conditions. Oh, I hear something going wrong in the background. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bit of contact there. I could hear it, but yeah, David Junt leading. And Sven de Vries under massive pressure here from James Johnson. An incredible start already.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it, this already? I mean, you've got a right battle. David Junt, though, doing everything right, going straight off from the front, leading it. Been brilliant there.
Roy Schroten also made a very good start up to P5. His brother Mike Schroten behind him in P6. Thomas Jacobs, a good start from him up to P7. Menno Klont there, P8. Quoti P9. And oh, James Johnson's past Sven de Vries there. I saw on the inside of one of the turns. It was going up the hill. And I think Sven de Vries...
Cooper's after him as well.
Yeah, I think Sven de Vries caught a bit unawares there, but he's defending nicely from Cooper. Is Cooper going to go around the outside? No, he doesn't have enough traction, but James Johnson doing everything right here. Up into P2 now.
That CSG car is looking like a right handful with the grip at the back end there. He just seems to not be able to put the power down coming out the corners.
No, and here comes Alex Cooper around the outside. Well, Sven de
Oh,
Vries
he's
just
not
about
done
able
it.
to hold on to that, but look at Roy Schroten, who's now got into the mix here. John Hicken has been removed from the game, and Sven de Vries pits. And so I think Sven de Vries had the wrong idea here, but look at Alex Cooper now under massive pressure from the Schroten brothers. Roy moves to the inside, as does his brother Mike, as we head down to turn 1. Roy's going to try and stick it up there. And Alex Cooper is... Oh, where has he gone? Oh, he's gone wide, and Roy Schroten now into the podium position. So Alex Cooper, we saw this actually happen in Bathurst. He's getting bogged down by other people though. He's straight back on the inside of Roy, and I presume this is going to be a move done here into turn 3. Indeed it is, a nice move on the inside, and Roy Schroten sort of left out to dry, unfortunately.
Yeah, this battle looks like it's going to go on for a little while longer. He doesn't, unless Alex somehow gets his rhythm going again. He doesn't seem quite in the groove yet that we've seen in previous races of his.
I see Scott Cervic is out of the race already for CSG, so he's fallen right down the field, unfortunately. Back up to this battle though for P3, it's BMW v Ferrari 458 v McLaren MP4, 3 completely different cars. And actually, mind you, watch out for Thomas Jacobs in the background there. He's starting to catch up on this battle as well. Don't discount him. And Alessandro Quotes already.
Yeah, it's a shame for him there. We've lost John Higgins, Civic and Protein. It looks like we've potentially Ron Squire as well as in the pits.
Well, we knew Ron Squire wasn't going to make it to the end of this race anyway. I don't think that's going to be too huge a loss from the race, but a real shame from Perotti there, who looked like he was hugely on the pace. And yet another bit of disappointment as Cooper losing it very slightly in this midsection of Sector 3. Conditions are still very tricky out there. Looks like the rain's going to stay away now after that initial downpour on the warm-up lap. But you've got to be careful. You can't really push too early, otherwise you're going to be losing it. And at this rate, losing 2 positions as both the Schroten brothers are in very close pursuit of Cooper.
Well, that's a good little battle. We've also got a good battle going down from 7th down to about 11th, I think it is.
Actually, hello,
on Van der Voort.
3 pitters!
Oh, all pitting.
Van der Voort, Vink, and Van den Brink all into the pit. They had this problem with the 2 of them, Vink and Van den Brink. There's so many K's, you can't count them all. Van der Voort, though, he was looking wonderful up in P7. He moves to the back of the field, so team
this makes me think
down to P7. Yep.
We don't have the data. This makes me think some of these started on wets. They saw the rain and went, right, I'm going on wets. And now we're 2 laps in, they've gone, right, I'm changing back. Alessandro Protti crashed it, by the way. Just so you know, unfortunately.
Oh, I see, George Schumacher.
Oster Hardwick has just set the fastest lap.
Wow. So much going on. I see Schumalis for TriStar's gone as well, unfortunately. So Teemu Toika's now 7th. Martin Palmer's now 8th. Mark Fuller's now 9th. And Oscar Hardwick, as you used to say, on a charge, he's now into the top 10.
That was fantastic to see, isn't it? I mean, oh yeah, we never thought he'd... You said from the back, could he win? You know, never say never.
Justin Bieber, are you now?
Well, God, hadn't even thought that. But I mean, his fastest lap is a second quicker than anyone else at the moment. That's how quick Oscar Hardwick's going in this car.
Just looking at the gap between first and second as well, David Junt and James Johnson. James Johnson is definitely catching on David Junt, but I think the issue with Oscar Hardwick is that he's 43 seconds off the lead. Is he realistically going to catch up 43 seconds in the space of... I mean, yeah, we've got 50 minutes left, and actually here he goes down the inside of Mark Fuller, and that's Oscar Hardwick through into P9, so he's up into P9 now, but, you know, realistically, is he going to be able to win the race from 43 seconds back?
It's going to depend on his pit strategy completely, isn't it? That's the only way you gain 40 odd seconds, is if you're doing a completely different strategy to everyone else.
Right, battle for the lead, I think, is now on James Johnson. Within half a second of David Junt, I think that's closing very shortly. And Roy Schroten, what's happened to him? He's even overtaken by his brother Mike there on the inside of turn 1. So Mike through on his brother there for 4th and 5th position, but back up at the front, James Johnson really starting to hound the back of David Junt now. The Swiss has been able to lead this race very effectively, actually, from the off. His pole position was very impressive, but realistically, does he have the race pace to outpace Johnson? The initial signs are not very likely.
James Johnson at the moment is doing a second lap quicker than David Junt, but equally, Alex Cooper is also doing a second lap quicker than David Junt. So that I think James Johnson needs to get past him pretty sharpish, otherwise you're suddenly going to get someone up, someone you don't really want behind you, pretty sharpish.
Right, Martin Palm and Mark Fuller are both into the pit, so Oscar now up to 8th, Svendor up to 9th. Pick up into the top 10, so still plenty of switching around here at Brno. The first 10 minutes has already provided us with some excellent racing action.
Are you okay there? We seem to be losing your...
Dave Johnson go past. Keep an eye out for Alex Cooper though. Yeah, I'm got a bit of indigestion unfortunately, so...
Right, it just sounded like your mic was disappearing a bit, that was all.
Anyway,
Don't worry.
oh, it's fine, it's just been a noobish mic. But yeah, look at James Johnson here right on the back of David Johnson. As I was saying though, Alex Cooper starting to really two in now as well, 1.5 seconds off. He was 4 seconds off initially, so losing two Schroten brothers.
That middle sector,
once again.
that middle sector, Alex was 1.5 seconds quicker than both of the guys in front of him. Just the middle sector.
Might that be because Unti's holding up Johnson though?
It looks that way at the moment, yeah. I mean, Johnson does actually do the fastest lap of the race with a 1:59.9, but then equally, Alex Cooper just does a 1:59.2 straight after, so that just shows how quickly he's catching.
Still intermediate conditions here in the Czech Republic. After our opening lap downpour, if you've just caught us, then we have already had 4 retirements in the form of John Hicken, George Shumalis, Alessandro Pruotti and Scott Servick. Jake Cooper leaving the server on the warm-up lap himself and not being able to start. David Jupp from pole position is still leading from James Johnson. Alex Cooper, those close behind in third. The two Schroten brothers, Mike in front of Roy, are P4 and 5. Thomas Jacobs catching up to Roy Schroten now actually is P6 with Oscar Hardwick now into 7th position from the very back of the grid, from the pit lane in fact. Van der Vries is P8 with David Philip P9 and Kenny Lebert on debut is in P10 with Timu Toika now for FA pitting. With, oh dear, he's missing a wheel there, Timu Toika, so not sure what happened to the FA racing driver, but he has certainly been in the wars.
Definitely, like you were saying about Oscar Hardwick there, he's done a 1:58 dead, near enough, well, which is just a fantastic pace.
Mind-blowing. But we must keep saying, I mean, it's really weird, you know, we say 6th and 7th, but you've got the top 6 here, down to Thomas Jacobs, within 8 seconds of each other. Oscar Hardwick is still 40.8 off, but mind you, he was 43 seconds off just 2 laps go. Now he's 40.8 seconds off.
It just like I say, if you've got the pace and you just get into the groove here, you know, these conditions. We've seen it before actually. I just thought about it with James Johnson there, where he was on drying conditions or slightly going wet, one of the two. He was always very quick compared to others, but the moment it was either dry or wet, certain other people had the advantage. So it might Alex Cooper just puts in the fastest lap at 1:57.8. It's just, but the track is obviously just drying up, isn't it, here as well? And it's just everyone's just getting quicker and quicker and quicker.
Interestingly enough, though, James Johnson, after his initial furore into David Johnson's lead, hasn't actually been able to make much more of an indent. In fact, the closest battle now is Roy Schroten, who's actually really under attack from Thomas Jacobs now, heading up into turn 3 now. Can the Englishman do it? Can he make a top 5? Roy Schroten breaks later, and that is the corner to Roy still. But Thomas Jacobs doing really well actually here for Laurentian Grand Prix. We thought there was going to be Michael Ballard leading the way for Laurentian. He's been really quagged down in the midfield since he had to start from the pit lane. His teammates really making a good name for himself here. Remember, a one-time Formula Challenge winner, a one-time Formula Challenge pole position man, showing what he can do here in the Tin Tops today.
Yeah, it's nice to see that car up there as well. I do like getting the Jaguar up there. It's a bit different as well, isn't it, compared to some of these. But yeah, he's done a brilliant drive so far. Let's hope he can keep it going for the next 48 odd minutes.
Also, must be said, Oscar Hardwick is now 41.7 seconds off the pace. So, yeah, he's really actually, he's able to hold it around that 40-second mark. But you must question whether he's going to be able to make it to the end. Update on the top 10 battle here. Menno Klont now is in that position, so currently it's a double top 10 finish here on the cards for Mia Zurich. Remember, Menno Klont's not even their reserve driver, he's an emergency driver, so doing an excellent job there. Harley Hamnet, one of the early, in fact I think he started from the pit lane as well. He's now into P11 in that wonderful Lotus inspired Viking racing livery with the Mercedes. Kenny Lebert now down to P12, Theo van den Brink for RTS in P13, Perry Vink on debut, the Lamborghini looking for some points, and Miles Dixon, can you believe it? Is P15 though, he's gone wide, and Matthew Williams is going to look to capitalise on that, and indeed he does. Matthew Williams through and into the points once again. Miles Dixon will have to be wary though, he's got Philip Morby and Martin Palm right behind him as well. And actually, look at
They were
that,
both battling themselves, yeah, Palm's just done him.
really nice move from Martin Palm actually there. And look at Tom van der Voort's there as well. So, yeah, we're looking at this battle up at the front. There's still plenty. Oh, and Miles Dixon's gone wide actually. So Martin Palm now up to P16. And wow, you know, we're looking at this battle up at the front. There's still 4 or 5 cars battling with each other down. Not even in the points though. Miles Dixon goes wide and very much ruins that for himself as he takes a trip into the gravel.
Which is a shame, but the battle just in front of him still going strong there.
Yeah, Philip Morby, who of course finished E7, his best ever finish in the World GT last time at Bathurst. A very impressive drive, battling with Tom van der Voort, who wasn't counting his chances here. He's still in the top 20. But really, you know, consistency is the only thing you need here. You
jumping up here to second and third. Alex Cooper's caught right up to the bumper of
yes,
James Johnson now. And he's going an awful lot quicker per lap as well.
I notice Roy Schroten and Thomas Jacobs are close together as well. But here is Alex Cooper then. These two are championship rivals. James Johnson realistically needs Alex Cooper to be finishing a lot lower down than he is at the moment. David Junt probably loving this at the moment. He's not been troubled much in these last couple of laps simply because James Johnson has been a little bit off the pace. As we say, you know, he's strong in wet conditions, is James, and he's strong in dry conditions. When it comes to intermediate conditions, it just seems like he doesn't want to push. You know, he feels very tentative with the car.
To be honest, I thought it was actually the opposite way around.
Really?
He seems to be, yeah. When it's dry and not struggles, he's still very good. But when it's just wet or just dry, he seems to be a bit ahead of everyone else. So I'd seen. Maybe I'm completely different to you, but we'll see, won't we? This race. Let's see what. We might not get any more rain, I suppose, but you've got me sitting in the commentary box, so maybe you do.
We didn't think there's going to be any rain at all, and it poured down on the formation lap. But either way, this is going to be working into the hands really well as Miles Dixon there retires, but it's going to be working really well into the hands of David Junt here, who doesn't have to worry about these two so much because they're still battling with each other. Although Alex Cooper there looked to have a better exit. No, he doesn't though. He's still behind James Johnson. Will he look to the inside though? Going to put his nose in there, and he is up alongside James Johnson and down into this deceptive right-hander. James Johnson though, he's going to try and power it around the outside. He can't really do anything there, and Alex Cooper moves through into P2. At this present moment in time, he is the 2013 Drivers' Champion, though there is still a long way to go before the end of this race.
There is 44 minutes. You think we're only 15 minutes into this?
Yeah.
This is brilliant. You know, so much more can change yet. We haven't even had a proper pit stop other than a few that started on the wrong tyres potentially. Just had the fastest lap from Oscar Hardwick as well, 157.3 now.
Still 41.8 off the lead though.
Well, yeah, it's quite steady, isn't it? I mean, he's getting fastest laps, but ultimately you're only talking about, you know, when you're talking 40 seconds behind, but you're gaining a few tenths every lap, it's going to take quite a while. Which, granted, we have got 44 minutes, so you never know.
Well, tell you what, at this quarterway stage of this race, let's give you a rundown of the top 15 as they are. So Junt leading from Alex Cooper. He's really starting to lose James Johnson now at the rate of knots. Mike Schroten in 4th, Roy Schroten 5th. Just about holding off Thomas Jacobs in 6th with Oscar Hardwick. Well, he's about 30 seconds behind Thomas Jacobs at this rate in 7th. Ben de Vries in 8th, David Philip 9th. Nano Clont in 10th with Harley Hamlin 11th. Kenny Libert in 12th with Theo van der Brink on debut P13. Perry Vink is 14th. And Matthew Williams for TSA rounds out the top 15. Your current retirees are John Hicken, Shumalis, Puoti, Cervic, Toika, Willis, Morby, Dixon and McLean. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out already, and we haven't even made it to the halfway stage.
Just shows it's obviously thrown a few people off, this bit of rain at the start there. It seems to have caught a lot of people out.
Yeah, one person that's not really catching out is David Johnson. It must be said, his lead is ever decreasing. Alex Cooper on a real charge, and as much as we want some excitement to be injected into this championship, which it is, you know, there is excitement injected in every race, but at the end of the day, you want to see different winners. You want to see that championship title be carried over onto the next race. And at the rate he's going, it looks like Alex Cooper could be very well facing his 4th victory of the season.
I don't know about that. David John's done a pretty fine job so far. He kept it consistent. I mean, the last laps of each of them was very pretty much on the pace of each other. And actually, the first sector times were split by 0.02 of a second. So I mean, they're both on the money anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how far they can. If he can keep that little lead he's got, which is only about 1.5 seconds. But 1.5 seconds is a good win.
Certainly is. We'll have to see how that one develops. The battle between Roy Schroeter and Thomas Jacobs is not really closing up, it must be said. I'm trying to find you lot a close battle, but it's very hard to. The field has already been spread out quite far apart in these early stages. Already everyone up to P18 has been lapped, so it just shows who's really been caught out in these conditions. And so I guess what we'll do now is
the closest I've got is probably 5th and 6th at the moment. I'd have thought.
Troughton of the Roy variety still able to hold off Thomas Jacobs, but Thomas seems to be doing a conservative job more than anything, not really pushing like he was in the early stages, just kind of staying there, trying to keep Roy very much in sight and to make, to remind him, look, I am here and I am still very much looking for some good points here.
Oh, of course. I mean, but then I was looking at Thomas Jacobs. He's done a decent lap time there. He was a second quicker than Roy in front of him. So if he does that again this lap, we could be on a real battle on our hands, because he's right on his bumper now. Actually,
look at him now. Yeah, he's really caught up in this first sector. And as you say, last lap full second quicker than Roy. There is potentially a 5th place on the cards for Jacobs, but I think actually a fair shout out should go to Mike Schroeter. We haven't seen much of him this season, but he's up there in 4th for me at Zurich Racing. Really standout job actually from the Dutchman.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of him so far, which is a bit of a shame. But it's nice to see that McLaren car's a decent car, and he's only actually talking. He's under 10 seconds away from the lead, so he's not doing a great job really.
Focus on this battle between Jacobs and Schroeter though, as Mark Fuller gets out of the way in his Lamborghini once again. And it seems like over the second sector here, Roy Schroeter has really got his car hooked up. I think potentially Jacobs has gone for straight line speed more than anything, because the first sector is predominantly the home straight essentially, the fast turn 1, and then another long straight running parallel with the home straight. And as you can see here, the gap has just been opened up again through this second and third sector.
Well, yeah, we're still under a second, but yeah, it's like from one being on the bumper, so he's a good half a second behind at least now, if probably nearly at a second level soon. It'd be interesting.
Oh, hello, Cooper's pitted. Cooper's pitted.
So Mike Schroeter goes up into 3rd.
Why is he pitting now?
Does seem a bit bizarre, but because the pit stop's going to be very long as well. Doing it at this stage.
One would wonder though, why not? If he can get his pit stop out the way now, run to the end. Well, actually, mind you, here comes Oscar Hardwick. We were talking about his pit stop being long. Oscar Hardwick's gone past Alex Cooper. I thought this was going to be possibly a decent move, but...
Right, he's on his way.
Right, he's on his
way out of the pits.
I reckon he's going to be comfortable. Is he going to be comfortable into P7? Or is Sven de Vries going to get him? I think Sven de Vries might very well get him here as well.
Good, he's going to know.
Remember though, most other people will probably have to pit. I don't know. Is this Alex Cooper being conservative? Remember, even if James Johnson wins this race now, which is looking more and more unlikely given that he's 5 seconds off the lead, Cooper will still have to finish 11th or lower. If this is his only pit stop in the race, then he'll have to make a mistake or something to be able to fall lower.
True. Do you think that's his style though? And like you say, you've got 2 other races still to sew up this championship.
Yeah, but surely he wants to get it done with now.
Well, yeah, but you don't. Do you want to win your championship just coming 11th? Or not? What is he, in 8th at the moment? I mean,
I'm not sure. It's talking to Oscar Hardwick yesterday when he took his driver's title in WSS. He said he wanted to go out in style, and indeed he did. He won the race which he won the title in. But I don't know. I wonder why Alex Cooper pitted this early.
Hopefully we can talk to him afterwards.
Yeah. Bizarre.
I wouldn't have thought it was tyres this early on, but then again, we're on 37 minutes. Might see a few more pitters within the next 10, so maybe he's just gone slightly early. I wouldn't have thought he's going to be
Slightly early. We usually say that the later you pit, the more better off you're going to be.
the better. Well, yeah, you would imagine so, but then again, maybe you're right. He's just being conservative. He's got we've got David Fiddick behind him now, so he's almost got a rear guard, I suppose.
Oh, hello. Oh, Thomas Jacobs has pitted as well. Interesting.
Maybe we missed something here.
Well, is it? I mean, if these guys have started on the dry tyre, Mike, would that suggest that the tyre wear is much higher in these conditions? I mean, I wouldn't have thought that was the case.
I wouldn't have imagined so, but I suppose if you set your car up completely for dry, but then... No, you're probably right. I'd have thought it would be the opposite way around, if anything. But who knows, eh? I mean, the thing is, pit stopping at this time and changing it just takes ages to pit. Thomas Jacobs there, bless him, he's on his way out now, but he's looking like he's going to probably come out 11th or 12th.
Here comes Perry Vink in P13. Might be able to do a hot little Suzuka move around the outside. No, he doesn't. So Thomas Jacobs comes out there, still in the point, but P12. It's to be brutally honest, ladies and gentlemen, we have no idea what's going on. Why these people are pitting so early? Yeah, it's anyone's guess. Hopefully we'll get some answers in the interviews afterwards. But that is as it is now. David Junt goes round again. James Johnson goes round again.
I was still watching James Jacobs there. We've now got Perry Vink right on his tail.
Oh, it does indeed.
And then the Lambo.
Yeah, or is this is a right-hander now, isn't it? So Perry Vink actually goes through on Thomas Jacobs. So Perry Vink up into P12, Thomas Jacobs down to P13. I'm sure once Jacobs' tyres are back up to temperature, he'll be able to poach the Lamborghini's place once again. But I mean, well, he has essentially been mugged here, and I'm just wondering what everyone else is going to do, because this has absolutely thrown me off what I thought was going to happen much earlier than everyone was expecting for the pit stops.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you remember that we were seeing people go until about, 10 minutes from the end at some races, going right there?
Just remember back to, what was it, the round at Austria, where Pedro Malim pitted, what was it, last 8 minutes or so, and he came out in the lead of the race.
Out of interest, though, Alex Cooper on a fresh set of tyres and everything has just done a 156.2. Which is a good, second and a half ahead of anybody else. And he's actually going up onto the back of Sven de Vries now as well.
Well,
so obviously the tyres make a big difference.
Yeah, but you'd expect that with fresh tyres, wouldn't you?
Well, of course, but is it worth the time being in the pits?
Yeah, but then the payoff is that he's not going to have
right on the back of him now, by the way.
Yeah, well, he is.
Going for a lunge.
Let's look at this now. He goes to the outside. He dives dramatically to the inside, but he's not able to do anything. I do worry for Cooper though, because these early pitters, their tyre wear, we presume, they'll have less grip at the end of the race, and that's arguably when you want it most. I mean, it's all good battling your way up through the field now, but you don't want to be in this position. I mean, he's trying to get past Sven de Vries now, and it's essentially being held up by the American.
Well, that's just it. If you think you've got to pit that early because your tyres haven't lasted, if you haven't made half the race, you're going to really struggle for that last 10 minutes. We've got Harley Hamnet in the pits as well at the moment. He's dropped himself down to 17th.
Oh. Hey, David Junt, James Johnson, Mike Schroten, Roy Schroten's the next person to... Yeah, these top four are determined not to pit, Mike.
Well, I won't say determined not to pit, but they're not pitting early.
It's this is what we love about World GT, a change in strategy. And although I like to say, Alex Cooper knows what he's doing...
no one would argue with you.
No, well, the fact of the matter, he still hasn't got past Sven de Vries, though.
No, but he's looking very likely here, actually.
Sven de Vries is going to defend off him.
Yeah.
And he does defend indeed. Oh, can Alex Cooper go around the outside? Oh, he's got better grip, but not that much grip. And Sven de Vries goes ultra defensive already, preparing for the defence into turn 3. So he's clearly not prepared to give up this place just yet. Heading into turn 3 now. Can Alex Cooper go around the outside? There's a bit of contact. Oh my word, and Alex Cooper looking to do a fabulous move there. Lost it a bit. Bit of contact with Sven de Vries. Thought there was a flash of lights there as well. And the Americans hold on to 6th place for the moment. But you got to wonder, ultimately, Sven de Vries, if he's going to pit, will lose his place anyway. Why is he fighting for it?
Well, yeah,
so
it might not be for a while yet. And the problem, this slows down Alex as well, doesn't it? Completely now.
Yeah.
Just another point. Thomas Jacobs just got Perry Vink back as well. They're still
so
battling away down in 11th and 12th.
Right, so he's up into P11. I see Junt's gone round again. Johnson's gone round again. Mike Schroten, who must be said now, Mike Schroten now up into the podium position. He's now into P3.
He's actually catching P2 at a reasonable rate of knots as well. I mean, actually last time they just matched lap times now, but before that he was a good half a second quicker a lap. He's actually now only 5 off of James Johnson, whereas James Johnson is 7 off of David Junt.
But let's see, how long was that pit stop which Cooper had? It was something in the region of 45 seconds, wasn't it? Because
it's normally about that sort of level, yeah, definitely.
Hardwick got past, De Vries got past, and we're looking at about 50 seconds. If we look at David Junt now, he is 52 seconds ahead of Sven de Vries. So, you know, it's debatable to see whether Alex Cooper will or will not benefit from his early pit stop. It's actually, oh wow, he's just gone through on Sven de Vries there. Sven de Vries is very right, but he's got better drive out of turn 1 here, has the American, and so, well, that was a close call, and Alex Cooper going to dive to the inside now. Sven de Vries is going to have to defend around the outside. He cuts off Alex Cooper. Very nice defence there from de Vries.
Because that was some good drive he got out there. I'm amazed he managed to get that back, but yeah, he's got some great speed in that car.
But one thing we've got to remember as well is, of course, stops. There's not a set pit stop time here. There's variations, you know, whether you put tyres, pit for fuel. You know,
this is slowing Alex down no end though. This, by the way, he's
3 seconds off.
Compared to, the lap when he first came out of the pits when he was catching, he was doing 156s. He's now doing mid 158s. He's taking a dive.
Through. No, de Vries still able to hold on. Really good defensive driving here from de Vries. You know, it's something about this CSG car, Mike, I'm sure of it, because Pedro Malim had excellent defensive drives in this McLaren as well.
Well, yeah, they've obviously either trained them well, or it's the car, or they've just picked them really well. I mean, obviously we know how the quality of both these drivers, and this battle's brilliant. He's going for it again.
Heading up into this uphill section, Alex Cooper, he's trying to look every single way that he can to get past de Vries, but no matter what hole seems to appear for Cooper, in the space of a second, it's closed up once again. De Vries with a defensive drive of a lifetime. Ultimately, he's probably not going to be able to finish in these heights of 6th position, but for the hell of it, he's going to try his damnedest hardest.
Oh, so even down the straight.
Look at this, Alex Cooper, right, he's going to try around the outside of him now into turn 1. Sven de Vries takes the inside line, Alex Cooper around the outside. De Vries, look at that, I mean,
He had to go for the outside there. Sven de Vries, halfway down the straight, was already crossing the straight to get to the inside line. He's that defensive, it's like crazy. Although Cooper's going around the outside, is he?
Oh, he's going to try a similar move to what he tried earlier, and oh, dearie me. Watches
went a bit wide.
De Vries, he's still holding on to it. Unbelievable. This is honestly very impressive stuff from Sven. You can see why CSG picked him up. Oh,
we've got Hardwick in the pits at the moment. Yes, he's just come out.
Stop though, wasn't it? Or was it?
That one. Yeah, it was a bit quick actually. So he's dropped himself down to about 11th.
11th, yeah.
Although Theo van der Brink is also pitting as well.
So that means that Perry Vink's up into P10, Thomas Jacobs up into P9, Klont P8 now, Vidic P7, and Cooper through on De Vries. He's contact! And I think that was De Vries' fault, I reckon, because he seemed to turn in on Cooper.
He did very well, by the way, to recover that.
Yes.
And De Vries, he's not lost actually an awful lot of time, but that was, I think that was a desperation trying to cut back at the last minute there, and he's come off worse, which is fair enough.
So, yeah, De Vries, that wonderful battle ends with contact, unfortunately. And Alex Cooper is now set free in 5th position. We remind you that in order for Alex Cooper to become world champion, all he has to do is finish 10th or above, and he will become the 2013 World GT Drivers' Champion. James Johnson must win this race also, or he must win this race to prevent that from happening. At the moment, 8.4 off of David Junt, who remains in the lead of this race, and he has been leading now for half the race. Incredible job from the Swiss so far.
Oh, certainly. Interesting though, I find, now Alex is free almost. He's got a good 14 seconds, clear air in front of him. If the speed and the time that he might put in now, it'd be interesting to see, is this the time that David should pit? David Junt at the top, bring him out definitely ahead of Alex then, because he's got a good, got about a 50-second gap at the moment.
De Vries
back to him. And so does David Fiddick as well.
Oh, interesting. So the Midnight and CSG boys pit. So Menno Klontnen goes up into P6, can you believe it? Thomas Jacobs goes up into P7. So ultimately, Thomas Jacobs into a very good position here for Laurentian. Let's see, Oscar Hardwick goes past into... Oh, dear. I certainly hope those two don't find each other on track. Kenny Lebert goes into P9. And Perry Vink pits now. So who's the next man to come around the corner? It's going to be Matthew Williams, but Matthew pits. And, oh, well, here comes David Junt now. And David Junt, is he going to lap De Vries here? No, he's not. Okay, so... What about David Fiddick, though? Wait, oh, well, there we go. David Junt has lapped David Fiddick, can you believe? In fact, he's lapped everyone up to Tom van der Voort in 11th. So only the top 10 on the lead lap now.
Which is pretty impressive when it's a 2-minute lap nearly here.
More importantly, though, look at Alex Cooper. I mean, we're not actually at the final
James
split
Johnson's in the pits.
Oh, he is indeed, right. How quickly is he... It looks like he's going for tyres. Let's see where he comes out in relation to Alex Cooper, who is just entering the final section of Sector 3 now.
Mike Scroton also pits on 3rd.
So Roy Scroton up into 2nd. I don't think Alex is going to get ahead of Mike. Here comes Alex actually down the pit straight, and he's going to come out cleanly ahead of James Johnson.
James has been released now.
Yeah, that's game, set, and match, I reckon, for Alex Cooper. Really gained a lot of time. But that said, presumably his tyres are going to be off near the end of this race. James will have... How many laps would it be? It must be... Tyres with 7, 8 laps fresher?
Yeah, which is, can make a big difference at the end of the race, this.
Right. Menno Klont goes through then to inherit P5. His teammate Mike Schroten in P6. And he's going to be facing, actually, Thomas Jacobs, who's just going down the pit straight now. And Thomas get him. It's going to be close. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, Mike Schroten goes into turn 1. But Thomas Jacobs will have his tyres up to temperature. That battle may still yet resolve itself. But let's look at Alex Cooper now. 52 seconds. So he's gained a second on David Junt over the past lap. And you were saying, should David Junt pit? Well, he does pit. He does pit. The question is, how long will he pit for? If it was, let's see, James Johnson is 5 seconds behind Alex Cooper. David Junt was something like 12 seconds ahead of James Johnson. So theoretically, David Junt should still come out in the lead of this race. That said, though, I don't know anything about pit stops.
Roy might beat him, actually, if he doesn't pit.
Well, Roy's... We saw Roy have a wonderful strategy in Austria, which saw him take 2nd place. And I do wonder whether he's going for a similar strategy here. Because if he, like Pedro Malim, pitted, in the final section of this race, in the final 10 minutes or so.
Junt's still sitting on in the pits, and Roy Schroten just going past the pits now.
Oh dear, I think, Alex Cooper, that is game, set, and match as well. Alex Cooper then.
So Junt's still sitting down in the pits as well.
Oh, what is he doing?
He's gone, then... Johnson's gone past, he's now released, but he's going to be about 4th. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So David Junt from leading this race now falls to 4th. That'll be net 3rd, but you must wonder why on earth was he in there for so long? I'm
not sure that took absolutely ages, because considering not only did he lose to Alex Cooper there, he lost what, 9 seconds to James Johnson as well. Well, actually more than that, because he's 3 seconds behind him. So you know, like losing 15 odd seconds there.
Bizarre. We'll have to wait and see. It's still, we presume, a podium for David John, so he'll be equaling his best result of the year. And like James Johnson, he'll have fresher tyres than Alex Cooper at the end of this race. So still plenty can happen.
How about this for some speed? Oscar Hardwick setting a 1:55.9.
That's
the fastest lap of the way so far. We're getting back down to that sort of level, aren't we now?
And he's catching Thomas Jacobs. He's only 2.6 seconds behind the Englishman now. So well, Oscar
It's getting
Hardwick,
really close.
still looking for some good points is Oscar Hardwick. Don't count him out just yet. Although that said, I mean, in terms of title contention though, he's still going to be well out of it at this current rate.
So we still haven't had Roy Pitt either, have we? Roy's Groton at the top there. He's still got 21 minutes ago. He's only got a nearly 4-second lead off Alex Cooper, who only has the same battle lead to James Johnson.
1+1. I mean, look at this. He's lost 2 seconds within that within one sector. I might have said, you know, if he was playing on a no stop, he'd be in a good position. But to be quite frank, he is not going to beat Alex Cooper even on a no stop.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. But yeah, like you say, he lost second that lap. He's only 2.3 behind now, isn't he?
Let's see, who else is looking good though? Let's look at the lower places. So 15th is currently occupied by Matthew Williams. Kerry Vickson 14th, Theo Vandenbrink's 13th, Harley Hamnet is P12, Martin Palm P11. So Matthew Williams actually is the only one of those lot to be lapped. So still, after the pit stops resolved themselves, only 14 still in the lead lap is quite respectable.
Right, we've got Cooper right on Schroeten's tail there, and Schroeten's is the only one who's not pitted in the whole field now.
Oh, what happened now? I see has Menno Klomp pitted? He has.
Menno Klomp's in the pits.
Pitted. So Mike Schroeten up to P5, Thomas Jacobs P6, and look at Oscar Hardwick! Look at Oscar Hardwick here, he's right on the back of Thomas Jacobs, amazing speed from Oscar. Look at this, he's absolutely flying, he dives to the inside. I reckon this is going to be game, set, and match before they even reach the corner. Look at that, Oscar Hardwick up into P6, not even breaking a sweat.
We're getting faster and faster. Sven de Vries sits at 1:55.5 now.
I see Alex Cooper's got past Roy Schroeten there for the lead of this race, although Roy Schroeten is going to try and stick it down the inside still. He's going to try and hold on, bless him. But I think that is very much Alex Cooper's roll of the dice, and he has made it stick. And he now leads this race for Midnight Motorsport. And we remind you once again, all he has to do is finish 10th or above, at least from his ball of the court, to be able to finish as the 2013 World GT champion for at the end of this race. And basically he is doing that, and in real style as well. So mind you.
Oh yeah, this is what I was saying. Win it in style. You know, go off and actually win your championship, win your race. Don't just sit in 10th or 11th. This is how I wanted it to be.
You want him to lead. This will be his fourth.
Well, obviously I don't actually want him to win. I want James Johnson to win it. However, for the if you're going to win the championship, you want to win the race.
How much time we got left?
19 minutes just turned.
Let's have a look at this first sector split between. Look at Roy Schroeten there. He's going to be holding up James Johnson. I'm interested in the first sector split between Cooper and Johnson. Actually, Johnson is going to make a dive through on Roy Schroeten. Bit of contact.
He's already ahead of him just on the straight there.
Save pass, and actually, look at this. James Johnson is definitely catching up on Cooper there, because the gap was 2.4. In that 1 second, he took 3/10 out of the lead. So this is what I was actually talking about. Cooper's tyres, after pitting so early, are they starting to fade now? And is Johnson able to make so much inroads on Cooper's lead that he might actually be able to challenge for the win of this race at the end?
Well, we've seen Johnson chase down a win nearly, or win a few races before, so he does obviously like doing these things, trying to do it's an interesting strategy by Alex Cooper though. We're going to have to really see if this pays off. I'll be surprised if his tyres are going off quite yet, because that would suggest that actually you might have to pit again.
Yeah, but look at the lead. Look, I mean, that gap, I can see it's 1.3. In that
Well, it is
one
dropping. I mean,
sector
you look at.
alone.
He gained 0.8 in that sector, in the second sector, yeah. I mean, actually, that David Junt is doing a very quick times as well. He actually did that sector, so he's doing this lap even quicker than James Johnson as well.
Alex Cooper pits! I thought something was wrong, and Alex Cooper then pits for not the first, but the second time. And James Johnson then leads this race. Roy Schroten, who is second, he's now under attack from David Junt, who's going to try and go around the outside of turn one. Is Roy Schroten going to try and no stop? We're not sure at the moment, but David Junt clean around the outside of turn one. Wonderful move from the Swiss. He's on to P3, and well, late drama here at Brno as Alex Cooper pits. Where is Mike Schroten? Mike Schroten is going to pass.
Gone across the line, yeah. He's gone past.
In fact, Oscar Hardwick's going to get past Alex Cooper as well. What about Thomas Jacobs? Thomas Jacobs will go past Alex Cooper as well. Where's Sven de Vries? Sven de Vries is still quite a way behind, and Alex Cooper leaves the pits now. But I saw something was wrong, and well, there.
Sven de Vries might still have him, you know. Yeah, this is going to be very close.
Oh, he might indeed. Let's have a look here. Heading into turn one, Alex Cooper is ahead, but Sven de Vries will have the better tyres, presumably. But even at this point, Mike, Alex Cooper will still win. James Johnson needs Cooper to drop 4 places.
I've just had a look there as well. What happened to David Junt? Didn't he pass Roy Scroton? He did, and now he's behind him again.
And now he's again, I'm pretty sure Roy got him again, actually. But look, here goes David Junt around the outside. And well, this will be a move. Look at, oh, David Junt. That was beautifully done.
That just shows how much more confidence he's got in those tyres with that grip. Look at, I mean, poor Roy. He's going around at the moment about 6 seconds slower than the other guys around him a lap.
Well,
I mean, you can't keep that going.
Matthew Williams is going to try and lap himself. I'm just looking at Sven de Vries, though. Look how close Sven de Vries is to Alex Cooper at this present moment in time. And in fact, he's going to die for a move now! Oh, my word. I was wondering, possible carnage.
I think he's going to have him.
Alex,
the power.
Yeah, Alex Cooper lets him out the position.
Well,
Ooh,
well, yeah.
Well.
Is that one of those, because I mean they've had tapped already once before, is that one of those where you think, like you're saying, for the championship, I don't want to risk this?
Red Mist. Could Red Mist make the World GT 2013 season? Oh, well, I don't wish it on anyone.
I mean, you sit there now, he's sitting there in 8th, like you say, and all he has to do is bring that home for the next 15 minutes. That's it. Title's his.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, in points terms, a 3-position buffer. Remember, he has to finish 11 for James Johnson to even think about staying in the championship.
You look at it actually, at 13th down, are all a lap down.
Exactly.
So, really,
well,
he finishes.
The position we're looking at is P11, and that's Martin Palm. He's a minute 30 off the pace, a further 40 seconds off Alex Cooper.
I mean, unless Alex decides he needs another pit stop, I can't see that suddenly happening. I mean, he's still fighting away here with Sven de Vries.
You gotta wonder, don't you? You gotta wonder, is fate transpiring against Alex Cooper? As, Harley Hamlet's gone. And so that's another retirement there. Down to 18 runners and riders. Harley Hamlet retiring with suspension. But after all of that, James Johnson, it's very much like the Alonso situation, Formula 1 2012, isn't it? He's doing what he needs to do. Now leading this race to try and stay in the championship hunt. But, you know, even then, he needs Alex Cooper to drop more positions. David Junt, a very impressive second, looking for his best result of the season. Roy Schroten, bless him, looks to be trying for a no-stop strategy, still going around in 3rd position, a good 20 or so seconds ahead of his Mike Schroten.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Sorry, I do apologise. Do you think being in 3rd and his brother behind, is that a cushion? You know, he's got 17 seconds? Or do you reckon there's no love lost there?
How long have we got? Well, I think there's
13 minutes.
13 minutes, he can hold out for that, I'm certain, even if he loses a second lap.
Sorry, I'll let you run down the rest. My apologies.
Well, no, I think it's a fair point, you know, Mike. I think between every, between every brother situation, you have competitiveness. The Murus over on GRC, the Strotmans here. You'll never find two brothers working together. Usually, very rare. And I don't think. Well, Stroton.
Unless you drive it constant.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, yeah. No, fair point. You know, David and Mark both work together really well, but I think they're quite unique in that respect. Mike and.
While that's going on, Cooper, sorry.
Oh. Sorry, yeah,
he's
sorry.
making a dive.
Yeah, De Vries is still defending. He's still going. Yeah, he still keeps Alex off. As I say, you know, Mike and Roy, they founded Racing Team Stroton together, and then Mike decided to leave them. So here we go, Alex Cooper. Rides alongside De Vries, so the next turn is a right-hander, and Alex Cooper's going to have to go clean around the outside here. He's pushed out to the outside, Iceman De Vries, and De Vries still able to onto the position. And
and he's on the grass.
Goes wide, well.
But that's the worry, you see, how close was he there to being taken out of the race?
Yeah. Well,
maybe I do need to put my team head on and come out the commentary box and walk down to CSG and see what they can do for me.
Excuse me, can you please take him out? But mind you, CSG, I mean, they're 5th in the constructors, so they're looking for points themselves.
Well, yeah, that's true. They're probably not going to help me.
And to be fair as well, Alex, to be fair, I don't know why he's pushing. If he knows that he can get the title from sticking in 8th, then why would you want to risk?
Well, these two have got their own little mini battle going this race, haven't they now? You know, how many laps have they been behind the other or going past and a little tap? And, you know, it's interesting. There's pride there.
But again, titles, you know, it's... Alex Cooper's very much been shadowed by Lucas Euler in Super League. And, you know, there's been rumours afloat everywhere that, you know, David Piddock, who's alongside him in the midnight car for this race, replacing Lucas Euler, who we believe has now bowed out of the championship. You know, Alex Cooper, he's kind of struggled in Super League to make any name for himself. He had that one pole position in a career, but here in World GT, he's on the brink of a title here. And look, he's going again for a move on Sven De Vries, but I can't see why he wouldn't want to cruise it, because a title, I feel, is much more cred to your name than, you know, just, well, than trying to make a move on Sven De Vries, who, to be brutally honest, is not really his concern.
Yeah, but then you look and go, this series was always set up to be a bit of interest, bit of fun, but, you know, yes, he's going to win, you know, let's be honest, he's going to win this title at some stage, whether it's today, more than likely, we've got 9 minutes left, or Sven De Vries had a bit of a moment there, or over the next couple of rounds. I mean, realistically, it's going to happen. So even if he did not finish in this round, you'd look and go, well, actually, he's got 2 rounds where more than likely he's going to win it. So there's no, like, concern really at the moment.
Oh, hello. Look at Oscar Hardwick. Look at Oscar Hardwick. He is he's...
Well, right onto the back of...
There are many words to describe eating into a gap between someone, and if this broadcast was a much later night one, yeah, I mean...
Well, we have passed the 9 o'clock watershed. If you...
Yeah, but I'm a professional man, Mike. You've got to understand this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is astonishing. The gap was well over 20 seconds between these two. And now, Oscar Hardwick is within 8. Oh, Michael Ballard's there. Has Michael... Oh, no. Is Michael Ballard out the race? I think he's pulled over. And, well, Michael Ballard's out of this race. Didn't start well. And the luck still doesn't go for the Laurentian GP driver. However, luck is very much swinging the way of Oscar Hardwick. He may not be able to stay within title contention anyway from this race, but he'll be wanting the best result he can. And he's currently looking at 4th here, which will be a lovely point sum for Woods.
Out of interest, what did Hardwick have to do to be within this? Did he have to win it?
He had to win, and Alex Cooper had to finish... Well, yeah, he had to win it, and Alex Cooper had to finish 15th or retire.
Right, okay.
So
with 8 minutes to go, it's not looking likely. But
no.
You know, well, GT does spring up these. let's keep it going anyway. As I think a mild hope.
Well, look at this, Alex Cooper right on the back of Sven de Vries again. You know, I would be interested in the Mike Schoten battle, but quite frankly, we're looking here at very possibly make or break for Alex Cooper. He's persistent, call him that. Whether it's smart to try and attack Sven de Vries, or question. I mean, oh, look at this, Sven de Vries going defensive once again. Alex Cooper, oh my word. He's going to try and take him clean around the outside.
There's so much deja vu here, isn't there? You keep getting that feeling, these two cars, Sven de Vries done really well to plant his car on every apex on the centre of it where he should be, nearly every time. But that one mistake that he had where Cooper did get past, he's just been brilliant in this defensive driving.
Oh, we're looking to the inside.
He's going to prove me wrong here.
Oh my word. This is nutty stuff. This is nutty stuff, and Sven de Vries once again will go onto the home street, going ultra defensive against Alex Cooper now. Alex Cooper going to have to try and pull a Kimi Räikkönen on Lewis Hamilton here to even try and get past Sven de Vries. There is contact and Alex Cooper's pushed out wide. Sven de Vries will have the inside line. Can Alex Cooper go around the outside? Alex Cooper tries it all!
On the grass
contact.
Again. Exactly the same place as last time.
No, he's running it close. He's running it very.
While we're doing that, sorry,
very
Hardwick in fourth.
Oh yes,
Hardwick in fourth.
Indeed. Hardwick
just got him.
Wow, from the back of, not even from the back of the grid, from the pit lane. Such is the speed of Oscar Hardwick that he's now only 37 seconds off the lead, but crucially in fourth. Roy Schroten, it looks like, be trying a no-stop, but he is only 3 seconds up the road from Hardwick. How much time do we have left?
We're on now just under 6 minutes.
I don't think he's going to make
That's doable. I think that's doable with 2 seconds to 2 second gap now, nearly.
Oscar Hardwick.
Yeah, sorry, Hardwick will have him. Yeah,
I think Hardwick's the podium.
But you think Absolutely. How far we were saying before with Schroten were 14 seconds away from each other?
Yeah.
When we were only that seems not long ago at all, like 3-4 laps ago. But then you still look at the lap times. Like I say, he's losing 6 seconds a lap.
One must wonder, should he have did, because he was around Mike Schroten, and who's that? Oh, someone spun off into this. But so look at Oscar Hardwick.
Right on him now.
Right on him, and if anything, he's going to lose 2 space. Oh, you can see how hard we had to slam on the brakes, and suddenly it's become a Schroten sandwich. Oh God, Mike is right on the grass. There's flashing of lights, and Oscar Hardwick.
They're going to go 3 into.
Oh my word, he's going to mamble his way through Roy Schroten. He's going to try and hold on. But Oscar Hardwick, so much grip there, and Roy gets mugged by his brother as well.
Schroten, yeah, I was going to say, he's made his way back past. Well, Martin Palm pits as well from 15th.
I mean, in your professional opinion, Mike, considering that Roy was actually ahead of Mike before Mike Schroten pitted, this must be a terrible strategy, surely.
Well, it's turning out not to be the best, isn't it? But actually, 4 minutes away, was it worth the gamble? I suppose if he'd thought he could have kept it going to get a podium position. Because when you were sitting in third and he only had 14-second gap ahead.
Oh,
sorry, if he pitted, he was.
Sven de Vries and Alex Cooper, sorry, they're going side by side once again. Alex Cooper is through on Sven de Vries. But here's what I'm worried about. Sven de Vries is, yeah, look, he's still aside him. But the thing is, Sven de Vries has absolutely nothing to lose. I reckon he might do diving stuff here. I mean, look, oh my goodness.
That's so close.
Oh. This is what I was worried about.
This is the fine line between brilliant driving and kamikaze driving.
Can de Vries pull off a kamikaze drive and make it brilliant at the same time? That's the question. You can have a very successful kamikaze. De Vries not looking well.
It's a successful kamikaze. You're dead. Is that what that is?
Well, I mean in the sense of kamikaze racing, as in you.
Right,
actually,
I'm with you. Yeah.
Let's go for a Kobayashi as opposed to a kamikaze. Then, if you stick it up the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alex Cooper. He seems to have lost Sven de Vries now, and now actually look at this, Thomas Jacobs, not too far up the road. And actually, I think Thomas Jacobs is
Thomas
really
Jacobs
struggling.
just well,
he's under threat from Theo van den Brink, who's a lap behind. Yep,
there's quite a few people seem to be struggling on these tyres now.
That's like Mike Schroten pits again.
He did just spin before though, but that does seem ridiculously late to be pitting now with 2.5 minutes to go. Cooper is going past.
Cooper's through, but Thomas Jacobs has saved the place thanks to Mike pitting.
Well, of course, yeah.
Oh, but mind you, he's got Sven de Vries there. Oh, Sven de Vries goes wide. Well,
Held it, just come back on.
just about. Goodness me. Are we at time? My race.
We've
says
got 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go.
Right, so I reckon
It's
we're
not
gonna
long.
have 2 more laps probably. Well, I think that Thomas Jacobs is going to lose another position here very quickly because Sven de Vries is right on the back of the Englishman here. And de Vries has had a very impressive race so far, holding off Alex Cooper for the majority, and through he goes into P6.
Yeah.
Easy done. And Thomas Jacobs, I think he can be safe in the knowledge that 7th place would be his. The nearest competitor, David Fiddick, I believe now, is a further, well, 20 seconds behind or so? 15, possibly. Well, up in the front, it's still James Johnson. He's been on a downward spiral since his entry into World GT. But here, he has made his strategy work. He has made the one-stop, you know, he has made the one-stop, full stop. David jumped 2, as has Oscar Hardwick. These 3 nailed the strategy absolutely perfectly. And
Well, yeah, I mean, well,
Sorry.
David John did 1, didn't he? And
Yeah.
Hardwick shows us 2, but he started from the pit lane. That's why that one is. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that I couldn't have Alessandro with me as well, because I'm sure he'd have actually been right up there with James. We could have had a great little finish here, but not to be. You got to keep it to the end, like James is doing, to get there. We're within the final minute now, so this might be our final lap. Actually, it might just tick in.
Oh yeah, and actually, one battle that I'm interested in is look at Roy Schroten. Alex Cooper. Oh look, Alex Cooper is on the outside of Roy, and I reckon that this is going to be P4 for Alex Cooper. Indeed, it is fresh around the outside. Technically a move off track, but yeah. What can you say? We are.
I don't think.
We are
I think
pretty
that
much
matters.
looking at our 2013 World GT champion here, aren't we?
Well, yeah, we're 27 seconds away from it now.
Let's see, I think James Johnson might actually just be able to eke another lap out of this race. We'll look to him now.
No.
Let's look to him now anyway.
No, he's just gone through sector 2, hasn't he? He's got 12 seconds left. I don't think he's going to quite do this.
Oh, Roy Schroten dropping like a fly now, unfortunately. He's well down to P6. But James Johnson, well, what a drive this has been. Made the one-stop work.
We're at time, and he's coming down the final straight, so that's it.
Vodball Racing, he timed it perfectly, didn't he? It's James Johnson. He'll be ecstatic with that. His first win in GPVWC, and a well-deserved one too. David Junt from pole position comes home to secure his best finish of the year. Second for the Norwegian driver, Oscar Hardwick from the pit lane. What a drive this has been. If only he had been on this sort of form from the beginning. If only James Johnson had been here from the start of the championship. So many, so many what ifs. At the end of the day, only one conclusion once we get to it. But Oscar Hardwick, I mean, look how far behind he is. 41 seconds off the lead still. Massive deviation. Nevertheless, though, it is a podium, and a well-deserved one at that. But the next person coming across the line, 2 champions decided over the course of 2 days. It's Alex Cooper, our 2013 World GT Drivers Champion. It's the Grand Slam for midnight in this series, and well-deserved as well. He's not on the podium, but it's a title, and a well-deserved one too. Sven de Vries ends up P5, with Thomas Jacobs coming with a very credible P6. David Fiddick filling in for Lucas Euler, finishes P7 with Roy Schroten. Well, he comes across the line with a puncture, but he made the one-stop work to an extent. It's P8 on his return. His brother Mike Schroten comes home P9, and it's going to be a double top 10 finish for Mia Zurich. His emergency driver Menno Klontz comes home P10. Perry Vink on the debut for for ST with the Lamborghini. Points. 5 points for him. Matthew Williams, 12th for TSA. Matthew Williams seems to be on an upward trend. 15th, 14th, 13th, and now 12th. Oh well. Kenny Libert on debut, P13. Tom Vandervoort scores points for Woods. He'll be ecstatic with that. And Theo van den Brink as well on debut for RTS. Scores points as well. The other two finishers were Martin Palm and Mark Fuller. Everyone else retired. So Michael Ballard, Harley Hamnet, Ron Squire, John McLean, Miles Dixon, Philip Morby, Ben Willis, Timu Toika, Scott Cervic, Alessandro Puotti, George Shumalis, John Hicken, and Jake Cooper. What a race. And, well, both titles have been decided now. So what I can imagine will happen in the next two races, Mike, is the gloves will be off. It's all about personal glory now.
Oh, it is, and ultimately, I mean, if I'm obviously, although with titles decided, I'm still chuffed for James there. That's a fantastic result for him. I'm so happy that he's there. I know that, like, he's had not the best couple of drives of the last two, but he's shown that pace, and just like you say, wish he'd been there from the start of the season. It's a shame.
Furthermore, it secures Vodbull. Well, it secures Vodbull's place in second for another week, I believe. Though only just, as I say, Puotti did not finish the race, and David Junt was only just behind. But it's going to be another 5 points gained on Nordgen. FA scoring, CSG scoring some good points, but falling further behind. I believe they're going to move up into fourth at the end once all the standings have been tossed up. But yeah, as you say, wonderful result for James Johnson. And to be honest, I rather hope I hear his laugh again, because I do believe he's got the most glorious laugh here at GPVWC. And yeah, I mean, he's such a nice guy as well, so deserving of a victory here at GPVWC.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure he'll come in for an interview in a minute. Yeah, he's just brilliant to have around the team as well, like you say, with those that laugh is also fantastic. What more can I say about him? He definitely deserves it, and it might not be the last of these wins we see of his. Still two more rounds, remember. This is not the end. Join us.
No, well, I mean, it was the same. I was banging on about the same thing with WSS. You know, we still got the Nürburgring round in 2 weeks. With World GT, we still got 2 more rounds to go. We got Imola, the penultimate round of the season, then we finish up at Watkins Glen. And I must, I've got to bang on about this. The fact of the matter is, everyone will be going for personal glory or team's glory now in the championship. We genuinely have no idea how daredevil-y these people are going to be. I mean, it could be boring, but this is World GT, and World GT is never boring.
No, it's not. Who do you want to speak to first? Because I've got drivers lining up. We can speak to.
Well, should we talk first of all drivers champion?
Drivers champion?
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk to him now.
Let's bring him in.
He's on. Right, Alex Cooper, you are 2013 World GT champion. Huge congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
It was an interesting race, we thought, because we saw you pitting extremely early, and then you had to pit again, we presume, because of tyres. Can you explain what all that was about? Because we were wondering, oh god, what's wrong with his car? Has he set something up wrong, or has he picked up damage somewhere along the way?
Yeah, I was just killing the tyres. I don't know why. I was wearing them so much here, but I had to do a 2-stop. There was no way I could do a 1-stop.
But still, that is the Grand Slam in World GT for midnight now. They've got their Constructors title, and one of their drivers has the Drivers' Championship. We don't know whether we're moving to another system for World GT next year. We don't know whether we're staying here on R Factor, but if we are staying here on R Factor, will you be coming back to defend your title? That's the big question now.
Well, I guess I'll have to, yeah. I'm not really that keen, but I guess I'll have to, yeah.
You're not keen? You've won something, sir. That's a brilliant... Well, I don't know. I mean, well, that raises questions, actually. Do you reckon that this is a worthy championship to win, in a sense? I mean, do you think you're worthy at all? Because you sound quite... you don't sound over the moon, necessarily.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some decent people in here, but I'm just annoyed at that race, to be fair. I'm happy I got the championship, but I'm just annoyed at that race.
So you're very much a by race person. You like doing well. Would you? I mean, presumably you would have wanted to round it off with a win, I guess.
Yeah, well, even a podium, but yeah, well, it was decent to get a 4th with a 2-stopper. To be fair, I thought I'd be scraping top 10, but yeah, 4th ain't too bad.
It was an excellent effort anyway. Will we see you at the last 2 rounds?
Yeah, I like Imola, so I'll definitely be there. I'm not sure about. Is it Watkins Glen? I don't know if I'll be there.
Yes. Well,
I guess so. I will be probably.
well, we certainly hope to see you there. We want to see you further dominate the championship because you absolutely deserve it. Thank you very much for joining us, Alex, and well done on your 2013 Drivers' Champion medal. We now go to... Who else we got? Let's bring in James Johnson now, Mike. Race winner, James. Alex had terrible tyre wear. You had a 1-stop. You've been on this downward spiral for Bodball, and now you have won a race. You must be absolutely ecstatic with that.
I am. I very much am.
I tell you, it's a real shame for Vodball though, because yet another retirement for Watty. I believe that you're still second in the constructors now, but it's such a shame. You know, you have all this luck where you've really worked hard, really deserved that win, and unfortunately, Alessandro not there to celebrate it with you.
Yeah, we pretty much started on the setup very early on in for this race. I think Alex did more of the work than me, so I'd say this win's more for Alex than me. Because I've been busy with work and stuff, so I haven't been able to contribute much to the setup. But Alessandro just gave me a setup before the start of the race, and well, I just went with it.
You did indeed, and you won the race, sir. And well, can we at least expect you then for the next 2 rounds at Imola and Watkins Glen? Because despite both titles being decided now, there is still the matter of who will take second place in the constructors, and it's a very tight battle. You've only gained 5 points on Norgen today.
Yeah, it's gonna be close, but I'm looking forward to Imola. I very much like Imola. It's one of my favourites, so I'm looking forward to that. Much like this track, and just going to the last race to see what happens. Anything can happen, and it usually does.
Good old Murray quote there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us then, James, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Imola. Bodball now winning out for here in World GT. Can they win again? I think we'll now bring in David Junt, second on the podium, his highest finish in World GT to date. David, first of all, fabulous result with pole position. I mean, we were all stunned in the commentary box here. Unbelievable effort. And then, you managed to get second place, your highest finish in World GT. One question really bugs me, though, and that is why on earth did your pit stop take so long?
Oh well, I think I was all the time when I was driving and going towards the pits, I was thinking just how much fuel do I need to make this stop work? And then, well, I thought 75 is enough. And at the finish, I think I had 17 liters, so could have been 65, nearly 60. So I think I've put in 50 liters too much, but I don't know if that's just everything to the problem that I dropped behind James. I don't know. I just came a bit and I saw James go by and thought, oh, okay. Why did I just lose 7 seconds and lose another 4 for the pit stop? I guess I've just taken too much fuel in. Maybe I was a bit too careful going into the pits. I don't know.
Well, let's take the positive from this. Say you did get that pit stop absolutely nailed with strategy and everything. We reckon you would have come out quite comfortably in the lead, and the pace you were showing, it seemed like you were going to stay ahead of James Johnson. We've got 2 rounds now left at Imola and Watkins Glen. Could we see Norgen rise from no points scored at the start of the season to a race win by the end of it, possibly?
Well, I really hope it's going to be like that. But I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is, again, I think nobody really wants to hear that, but I didn't practice until, warm-up or, pre-practice, or just before it. But it just came together. I worked a bit on front Snyder setup from Nürburgring, and, it worked quite well, and I just started to get into it, and I was, amazed by the quali lap. Didn't do 54.8 before, so quite stumped when I was just a tiny bit ahead of Sven. But, the sad thing, of course, is that Franz wasn't here, and otherwise we could have maybe outscored Red Bull, which I wanted to do, as I wanted everyone to be ahead of me, but not James, not him. I just had to let him win in the end. I was a bit annoyed that I had a half spin just somewhere after the pit stop when I had to overtake Roy, and just, well, it just wasn't enough. I thought I could catch him, but he didn't lose enough time. So I have to look forward at Imola and at Watkins Glen, but I'm not sure if I will be fast enough, because I was thinking, well, Alex Cooper and Oscar Hardwick, well, he changed late, would probably go away with it, but then I just suddenly started to see that, thanks to my decision not to go on wets, because I read the weather chart, and I was really sure that, well, kind of sure with 7 seconds to go, I thought, well, it's at 0%, so probably it's gonna sink to 0, so I just stayed on slicks. So, well, as for the next rounds, I think Imola is a nice track. I guess where I'm probably gonna be hoping for top 10 again. Maybe just be underestimating myself now, but it's just my first, my goal to catch Wattbull with France when he's, well, racing again. So a race win would of course be nice for next race, but the points are more important when we can score them.
We are going to be looking forward to this battle between Nordgen and Wattbull, and we certainly hope to see you up at the front once again to make that battle interesting, David. Well done on your podium. We hope to see you next time. We now move on to our final podium sitter, Oscar Hardwick, who, remember, took his podium from the pit lane. Oscar Hardwick, I mean, we were monitoring your progress throughout the race, lighting up the sectors, constant fastest laps. At the end of the day, you finish on the podium from what seemed to be a bleak situation. How on earth do you do it?
Well, don't ask me, ask someone else that's been watching. I just drive the car. No, as I'm sure you saw, and maybe a couple of others were aware of, I had some very, very serious issues with R-Factor prior to the race. And last time I hit the track was 2.5 weeks ago, and then didn't have any chance for practice today or anything. So I thought, yeah, I'll go in for free practice, and R-Factor stops working. Just completely dead. Fixed that probably with about 3 minutes left to go, and got myself in, started from the back on the wet tyre, so went back to the pit lane, slapped on the slicks when the rain stopped. And from there, I'm just coming out the pit lane even. I got Michael Ballard straight away, thought, get your head down, keep going. It seemed to work out. I don't know how I got third. I think maybe Alex's conservative strategy to secure the title might have helped me there a bit, because I know he's easily one of the front runners on a good day. Got to say congratulations to James and Wattbull for their maiden win in LGT as well. Fantastic job from them, fantastic job from Dundee.
Must say, believe me, Alex Cooper's drive was not conservative. We were watching that. We just interviewed him. Definitely not conservative.
I think that's got absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Alex. I think that's got a lot to do with a certain other person.
Oh.
So
Politics at GPVWC.
It's not politics, it's silly people.
Oh, fine. I always get this with you, Oscar. Behave.
I know. I shall control myself one day.
You will. You will control yourself.
Yeah, Dave will beat it into me.
Well, anyway, regardless, a podium's another fabulous result. Can we expect to see you at Imola and Watkins Glen then?
It's looking very promising. I genuinely hope to be there, because this series, for myself and for a number of others, actually produces the most fun at the moment, and it's just thoroughly enjoyable to drive around and have battles up through the field. Today was great. It was probably a bit better than Bathurst, because I actually got to race people and get some door-to-door action going on. So, fantastic. Another podium for Woods in as many weeks, you can't ask for more. It's going really, really well at the moment.
The Hardwick Woods era is looking very promising, and we look forward to seeing what else it can bring before the end of the World GT season. Thank you for joining us, Oscar.
Thank you.
We're now joined by let's go for Roy Schroten actually, because Roy had a very interesting strategy and decided to either we didn't catch your pit stop, Roy, or you no-stopped, and you came across the line in quite a fashion with a tyre puncture. That looked like quite a painful race for you, sir.
Yeah, on the start I decided to just stay on the dry, because I knew it wasn't supposed to rain a lot, so I knew it was going to be dry. But then in lap 3 or 4 I saw that the tires weren't wearing as much, so I decided to try and do a zero stopper. I did manage to keep it good until the last half lap, because then my tire blew. It's a bit disappointing, but I had fun with trying to keep it clean and just saving as much as fuel and the tire saving as well. But it was a very boring race. I couldn't push, and I really had to pay attention to the tires and the fuel all race long. So it was one of my most tiring races, but yeah, well, it's good.
Does it promote the idea of possibly going for at least a one-stop strategy for the next two races at Imola and Watkins Glen?
Yeah, I don't going to tell anyone that they have to do a zero stopper because you can.
Absolutely. Well, actually, let's take a look at the positives. You know, double points finish for Racing Team Schroden on their return, and it's lovely to have Roy back in the paddock as always. Always a lovely person to have around, and still an 8th place to your name. You know, still good points at least in the championship.
Yeah, I don't know where Theo has finished, but I'm happy with both point finish after a while because RTS hasn't driven in the last few races. But yeah, I enjoy the racing here.
Thank you very much for joining us, Roy. We hope to see you next time. I think we'll now get in David Fiddick, filling in for Lucas Euler, of course, at midnight. David, yet another chance for a midnight drive. Quite a quiet race for you, must be said. Still finished up, but it was P9 in the end. Was there much on you wanted to say from your side?
That was pretty much ruined on the warm-up lap, really. Decided to go to wets as I've never driven this car in the wet before, and then I was told on the radio that these cars can drive it on slicks in this kind of wetness. So I escaped quickly and went back to dries and started in the pit. And yeah, it's quiet from there. I mean, picked off the guys that 2 stopped. My pace was really good for a 1 stop. I think I could have had a podium, but that's all ifs and buts. But the main story, I guess, was the race being ruined by my teammate in the B team. I guess he goes wide in turn 1. I go on the inside and he hits me up and damages the car, and I'm like quite slower after that, And then he decides to almost ruin Alex's championship by racing him to the end. I mean, the guy should just get out of the way,
That's interesting. We were. It was in the back of our minds. We know the relationship between CSG and Midnight is one of sort of like a feeder team, to obviously the big team Midnight. And well, we were debating, we were debating the opposite. Why was Alex Cooper fighting Sven de Vries? Sven's actually been in a lot of controversy with Oscar Hardwick in WSS. He seems to be making a bit of a name for himself, possibly not in the best of ways. We saw him have a fantastic defensive drive. Do you think he needs to possibly, I don't know what the best way, do you think he possibly needs to calm his racing style a bit, or do you think possibly do you think he's just neglecting team orders, as it sounds a bit like that at least?
Yeah, to be fair, I've only known Sven through World GT, and I don't get to watch Wednesdays. I'm out every Wednesday night, so I can't comment on his other racing. But with today, when I raced in CSG last World GT race, that there was no chance I was even thinking about getting in the way of Alex and Lucas. I'm not in the championship; they are. And Alex is trying to seal the deal today as well, so I was going to help him out as well, as I was 1 stopping. But he's there to do a job for a team, and I don't know, he's got other plans, but ridiculous if you ask me.
Interesting point of view. One final question I want to ask you, David, is we've been hearing rumours that Lucas Euler has now bowed out of the championship. Apparently he was just there to very much secure the constructors for Midnight. Does this mean that you will be here for Imola and Watkins Glen, or do you not know at this stage?
If that's the truth, I know he's away this race because he's going to watch F1, I believe. I haven't heard if he's away for the season. I haven't been told nothing anyway, so if he is, I would like to. you know, it's his spot, so I can't really say anything at the moment.
All right, well, thank you very much, David. Always linked with some form of Midnight Drivers, David. You wonder whether there's any smoke without fire. But anyway, let's now move on to Mike Stroton for Me Zurich Racing, who also had to two-stop. But nevertheless, Mike, double top 10 finish for Me Zurich. You must be very happy with that.
Yes, we had only 5 points before this race, and to add 13 more, that's a good result from Menno Klont and myself.
I believe Menno is only an emergency driver filling in for Mike Bell, but will you be considering him possibly for next year as a driver, because this was his debut, and to usually be considering World GT, especially where the fields are as big as 30 to 40, to get a top 10 on debut is a really impressive achievement.
Yeah, Menno Klont and I are friends, good friends, so it was nice for him to join my team when I needed him, and of course I will consider him as a driver.
Right, well, are you presumably going to be joining us at least for Imola and Watkins Glen, you know, just to add some more points to the team's name?
Not me, I am only a reserve driver. Rico Sapila and Mike Bell are the primary drivers, but they both couldn't drive.
Right, well, that's excellent to hear. Well, yeah, if you're not joining us for the next few events, then thank you so much for joining us, Mike. Well-deserved top 10 once again.
Yeah, little shame I crashed with only 4 minutes to go.
Indeed. I mean, you're looking very... This was by far and away your strongest race, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm always unlucky with the World GT, last year's Winter GT, when I started in 4th position on Watkins Glen, and then in the first lap a disconnection. So, never worked out for me till now.
Well, in any case, well done on your drive, sir. And our final interviewee, we've kept him waiting, but it's Tom van der Voort. Now, Tom, you were not really in high hopes for this race, sort of drafted in for Lewis Redshaw at the last minute, but you got points!
I did! It's awesome, isn't it?
It is! I mean, was your race particularly exciting in any way, or was it very much just focus and get it to the end sort of deal?
Well, at the beginning it was interesting, mainly because the track was so wet, and I was one of the guys that decided to start on wets. So I gained a lot of places in the first few laps. I had to give them back because I had to pit for dry tires, obviously. And yeah, I got back and I believe it was 21st, something like that. I had a few fights with a few people, not anything particularly as exciting, but I mean, it's in things like this, it's also about just staying on track, keeping things consistent, and the mistakes of others helped me up a few places. I must say I didn't expect to get 14th. 2 points are 2 more than I expected to get out of this, so and double points for Woods, which is also good.
I'm not quite sure on the drive situation of Woods. Are you very much only here for this round, or are you indeed encouraged to possibly come back and drive, if not for Woods, for another team?
I don't know. To be completely honest, I just decided at 8 o'clock local that I was going to race, so it was halfway in the official practice that I got into the car and got a few laps in. It was more like I want to race tonight, so I got the open spot at Woods and I took it. But I enjoyed this a lot more than I expected, so I can stay at Woods, or if another team might offer me a spot, well, who knows? I think I might do the next race as well.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and sharing that opinion, Tom. I think, Mike, that's the overall impression we get from World GT. Everyone just seems to love it. Obviously, I mean, Alex Cooper didn't sound too overly thrilled with his performance here today, but all the other, there's just an overall sense of positivity from World GT, and even though both constructors and drivers' titles are now sorted, we're still being promised 2 races left of as much, if not more, action than we've had in the 7 rounds that we've had so far.
Oh yeah, like we were saying before, the large grids just prove how good this division is, how good this series is. It's fantastic, and like you said, yeah, there's still plenty of racing still to do. We've still got 2 more rounds, and yeah, the top 2 places on each standings are sealed and delivered, but the rest of them are still up for grabs. Obviously I've got a vested interest, but equally everywhere, all the way down the field, like you're talking, a point here, a point there, can make such a difference. And it's nice to see some new names jumping in, like you say, seeing Tommy jumping in and just trying it with Woods, getting points, coming back next race. Hopefully, if he knows he's driving next time, he'll have a bit more prep and get some more points. It's going to be even better to see these guys again. And I love Imola, so I can't wait for the next one.
Neither can I. The next race to pencil in on your calendar will be September the 19th, the penultimate round of the 2013 World GT Series. We're going to Imola, such an iconic circuit for so many reasons. We hope that it basically gives us, hopefully, one of the best races that we see this season, with the lower ends of the table still to be decided. Who will come out on top? Will it be James Johnson again? Will it be Oscar Hardick? Or will Alex Cooper continue his domination of the series? We don't know, and there's only one way to find out, and we certainly hope that you join us in finding that out. So, from all of us here at the World GT Series, it's a very warm goodbye.